Breaking news out of the Bronx. Memorial Day, Bonanno family armed robbery. That's the headline. This is pretty surreal. We're still getting information coming in on a second-by-second basis. The situation is very fluid, so I'm sure we're far from getting to the bottom of it, but let's just talk about what we know over Memorial Day weekend on Sunday evening or late afternoon. Bonanno mob underboss Johnny Joe Spirito, reputed street boss, acting underboss Ernie Aiello, and Johnny Joe's son, a reputed skipper, Johnny Boy Spirito Jr., and others were robbed at gunpoint at a Bronx social club. Cash, jewelry, watches, as well as what we're told a tribute package that had been waiting there to be delivered to alleged Bonanno boss Mikey the Nose Mancuso. So this is huge news. It was broken by Gene Borello. He broke the news, former Bonanno mob associate, enforcer, a guy that's a real, cowboy, wild card, colorful character. He's now a podcaster and a social media personality. He broke this on his some type of social media account. I don't know if it was Instagram or what particular platform it was, but he broke it on Sunday night. It was pretty easy for me to confirm. I was able to confirm a lot of this by Monday afternoon. We don't know more than what we know. And what we know is that 4 masked armed assailants with seeming knowledge that there was a big boost, that there was a lot to take. This doesn't seem random, is what I'm saying. Bust into the social club, guns blazing, and hit the place for 6 figures. This is something that was being discussed amongst all the 5 families late Sunday into Monday. I know there were meetings taking place, different families meeting with each other about this particular situation. On Monday, everybody's taking this very seriously. Nobody knows exactly what happened. You can kind of connect the dots, and it just seems that this wasn't a coincidence that there would be a tribute package there. It seems like that was something that was known and it got out, and somebody that got that information acted on it. Why you would target people like Johnny Joe Spirito and Mike Mancuso, Ernie Aiello, these are very, very serious individuals. Mancuso is a 2-time convicted murderer. Spirito did almost 20 years on a gangland homicide from back in 1999. Ernie Aiello is, he's nicknamed the Pitbull because he's quite ferocious. He's been a guy that has done muscle work for Mancuso for years. He's only in his mid-40s right now, but is trusted by Mancuso and Spirito to run the street on a day-to-day basis. This is frankly, this is reckless behavior. Maybe the people that did this don't care. Maybe the people that did this are looking to make some type of statement. Maybe, who knows? I don't want to get ahead of myself. We know that the Bonannos have had some instability in the last decade. From that, though, I want to be clear on what my sourcing is telling me. One of the first things that I said, or I started to ask when I was able to confirm that this happened, and some of the particulars about how someone, it looks like if there wasn't a tip-off, if this wasn't some type of inside job, then these people got really lucky to a degree, that they hit this place where when there was more money than there would normally be. This wasn't just guys sitting around playing cards. There was a package that I'm told that was consolidated tribute from almost all the family's rackets from the previous weeks or previous month, that was at that social club ready to go out to Mike Mancuso, and it got hijacked before it made its way to maybe the most lethal mafia don that exists right now. And that's no disrespect to Barney or Lorenzo, guys that are known to be very serious individuals, that guys that have been charged with murders and have done prison time. Teddy Persico as well with the Colombos, and alleged to have ordered a hit from a funeral parlor when he was on a furlough from prison at his grandma's funeral. So, I mean, these are very, very dangerous people. And at the top of the danger pyramid might be Mikey Mancuso. He definitely is a guy that has been able to build respect, I think, in the last 2 or 3 years, stabilizing the family that was starting to go off the rails when he was coming out of prison in the late 2010s and his issues with Brooklyn. But again, what I heard talking to sources, asking if this possibly came from that Brooklyn faction that he was having issues with, I got a hard no. I talked to a number of different people about this, and they were adamant that this had nothing to do with Brooklyn or anybody from that group that opposed Mancuso's reign back in the late 2010s, where there was a vote to try to get Mancuso out before he came out of prison. And the vote, which actually I'm told went against Mancuso, was blocked by the rest of the 5 families and other guys within the Bonannos, Vinny TV, and those guys were able to stem the tide of that potential insurgence. So I want to be clear. I'm being told that as of what we know right now, that this did not come from that renegade Brooklyn faction. Could it come from guys that have nothing to do with LCN, that do business with LCN, that might have heard about a delivery? Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Albanians. These are all possibilities, I think. I have a hard time believing somebody would roll up into a social club where Johnny Joe Spirito and Ernie Aiello are known to frequent and go in there not realizing who they were robbing. So this was brash, brazen, as bold as you can get at a time period where, the mob's not killing a lot of people right now, but if there's anything that reaches the level of needing to order a mob hit, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but this is just playing with fire. And if there was ever something, if there was ever a situation where there would be retribution or bodies to drop, it stems from stuff like this. And this is a big fuck you to the Bonanno leadership, whether directly putting a gun in the face of Johnny Joe Spirito and Ernie Aiello, Johnny Joe's son, Johnny Boy, or a fuck you to Mancuso, knowing that these are his guys, maybe knowing that there's money there earmarked for Mikey Mancuso. There's so many different layers to this. And I don't think we might not know for years what exactly happened and what the specifics are, but it's pretty clear that this was this is the epitome of cowboy style. And, they had masks on, but, to make a hip hop reference, Future and his song Mask Off. It's just like when you just throw all caution to the wind and you don't give a shit about consequences, you know, you just roll as deep as you can, come as hard as you can, and not give a shit that there are going to be repercussions. Because it seems like that's where this is coming from. That somebody, I can't believe somebody wouldn't know the ripple effects that this will have. And to rip off, of all people, Mikey Mancuso, Johnny Joe, in the manner that they did, sticking a gun into an active administrator in one of the five families, sticking a gun in his face, taking his jewelry, taking his watch. It's just the kind of stuff that, frankly, people get killed for. So again, I don't want to make any dispersions or have people saying I'm trying to get people in trouble. We're speaking fact here, and this kind of stuff is just reckless. It's reckless behavior, and who knows what the consequences will be, but you got to believe there will be some type of response from the Bonannos. How layered or insulated that response is, who knows? I reported after the insurgents kind of died down back in the early 2020s, and then there was a flare-up at a funeral parlor in Glen Cove between some of the Brooklyn guys, the Camerano guys, and Mancuso's guys, Ernie Aiello being one of them, we know that. I mean, a lot of people know this. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but Camerano, Joe C. and his brother were told not to go to the wake and funeral of Joe C.'s father-in-law, Vito Grimaldi, who was a kind of a legend in his own right in terms of the Bonanno crime family. So was Joe C.'s dad, Joe Saunders. Mancuso didn't want him at the funeral. They showed up anyway. There was a physical altercation. And then there were ripple effects. And over the next year, there were violent acts of retribution launched against guys in the Camerano camp. Shootings, firebombings. Luckily, nobody got hurt, and things have since tensions have quelled. A lot of that has to do with, I'm told, Johnny Joe Spirito, the consigliere, Bruto Indelicato, who has come in and been a guy that's bridged the gap between Brooklyn and the admin. But you don't want to go backwards. And Mancuso has, based on my reporting, my sourcing, has garnered a lot of goodwill from the other bosses in these last couple of years because he was able to stabilize things, because he was able to show self-control and do what was best for the Borgata, not necessarily what was best for his, to quench his thirst for revenge against people that were disloyal or try to dislodge him. And he, that's got to play a factor here. On the other side, I know, based on talking to people that were aware of some of these meetings that were taking place in the hours after this happened, the other families understand that this is like, it doesn't get bigger than this or more important to have to respond than the situation that we see right here, because this is someone that's directly, or maybe indirectly, but directly or indirectly challenging Mancuso and Spirito's and Aiello's and Indelicato's hold on the family, whether that's coming from, again, from an outside group, an inside group, whatever it is. It's a major sign of disrespect, and there would be a lot of you would lose face if you didn't respond to something like this. And I don't know what that means. And again, I don't want to stoke flames here, but this is very serious stuff. And only time will tell with how this resolves. But we're told four gunmen. One of them might have been dark complected. Rolled into this social club. We're told it was somewhere in the Arthur Avenue neighborhood. That's not completely confirmed yet. So I just I've been hearing that it's in the Arthur Avenue neighborhood, not on Arthur Avenue necessarily, but in a side street. That's not totally confirmed yet. I was also told there might have been some shots exchanged, information not confirmed yet. That was kind of early in some of the rumors that I was hearing, that when these guys were fleeing, some of the guys that were in the club took some shots, and then these guys shot back. I have no idea if that's true, but I've heard that from a couple different sources. But almost immediately, word went out to everybody that this had happened. Guys in the Bonannos, guys in other families started sending word out to all the fences around the area to keep an eye out for anything that was coming in that might be suspicious. This is something that I can say firmly based on my sources, that a number of other crime families are behind Mancuso right now in getting to the bottom of this and finding some accountability. So it's crazy that this would happen, but I guess that's the world that we report on here, the stuff that people follow. It really is like a movie script. This is something that's straight out of a Scorsese movie, and but it's real life. And Mikey Mancuso is a real mafia boss. Johnny Joe Spirito is a real mafia underboss. Ernie Aiello is a real rising star in LCN circles in New York. Very easily could be running this family in 20 years, him and Ronnie G. So, this is, I still can't believe this. I really can't. We're 72 hours removed from it, and it seems unbelievable, but it happened. I've been able to confirm it 10, 15 times over. So, this definitely happened. We'll see if Jerry's got something coming out with Gangland News about this in the next week or two. We'll see what my sources say. But right now, the fallout is happening in real time. People are scrambling to find answers to who were the four men that came in guns blazing, acting like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, like Jesse James, Billy the Kid, whatever analogy you want to be, coming in and sticking up the if we want to keep on making these analogies. I mean, this is like going to stick up the Corleone family in the compound. This is like going to stick up Jimmy the Gent in Robert's Lounge in Queens. This is next level balls and frankly not a lot of brains. So we'll keep you updated. Keep on checking here at Original Gangsters Podcast. Check out our companion web magazine, The Gangster Report. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm Scott Burnstein. We're here all week, 24/7, giving you the latest breaking news when it comes to North American gangland activity, as well as history, analysis, great interviews. We do it all here, so please like, share, and subscribe. Original Gangsters Podcast, uncovering the underworld, one city, one region, one country at a time. I'm out.